CSA it stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and I believe it was born in New England about 15 or 20 years ago, basically as a response to kind of the corporatization of farming in America. The family farm was kind of dying, farms were getting bigger, they were focusing on monoculture, like acres and acres of one crop, and basically a group of farmers wanted to go smaller, so they introduced the idea of a CSA where community members would buy in at the beginning of the season, and in return they would get their share of the returns throughout the season, but they also go in on the risks associated with farming, like drought and insect outbreaks and so on. The benefits would be you're supporting your neighbor, a local farmer. You kind of have a relationship with your food source, where your food comes from. So a lot of members actually go to the farms and help milk cows, or help plant seeds, or do weeding, or pick their own berries and whatnot. So it kind of bridges the farmer and the consumer, whereas more traditionally we have a grocery store that acts as a middleman, and people don't see where their food comes from. So it's a healthier way of getting food, in my opinion. Well, we've had the school garden for probably, I think, 4 years now, and we in the past we've provided food to the cafeteria. It's worked out. It's had its its pros and cons, but I kind of wanted to go this route just as something different, and kind of a way to make learning more hands-on and kind of give more power to the students, and more, I guess, responsibility to the students as well, in a unique class setting. And also to have the community, give the community a window into the school, and give them a way to support students other than like joining the PTA or the sports boosters or something like that. Well, I mean, basically our class is kind of it's a small business, and I just look at a lot of the practices that other small businesses do, and most small businesses, they have a Facebook page, they have a Twitter account, they have a way of advertising, and I kind of want to mimic those approaches in this class. So we kind of did the same thing. The class set up a Facebook page, a Twitter account, we're developing a website, and I kind of want to make it as real as possible. It's a small business, but it's kind of protected by a nonprofit umbrella in a school. It's kind of a neat concept. I think I feel like students are silently crying out for something different, and I think students should leave high school with skills that are relevant and will help them later in life. And I mean, I think this addresses it, the whole 21st century skills, critical thinking, public speaking, reaching out to the community, forming partnerships in the community. I think these are skills that will be important in the future, and I think that a lot of our traditional approaches are lacking in those skills. And I think students want to be treated like adults, and this is my attempt to do that. Well, I really have no idea where it will be in 2 years. I hope we're successful this year. I would really like almost like an alternative high school type setting where students could spend a whole afternoon, a chunk of time, further developing this concept of a school-run CSA and expand and get credits for that, where you kind of just step out of the normal 40-minute routine and bells and into a real setting where we're outside more, we're reaching out to the community, forming these relationships in the community, and I think it could be big if students came motivated and we're willing to, and we're passionate about this concept, I think it could be a model for other schools.